Chaiko Okonkwo, a young billionaire, walked away from everything. He left his $3 billion empire, all for her, the nurse with haunted eyes who wouldn't even tell him her real name. His uncle screamed that he'd lost his mind. Maybe he had. Because what this billionaire didn't know was that the woman he'd abandoned everything for wasn't running to him. She was running from something. From a night 5 years ago, from a dead body in a twisted car, from blood on her hands that no hospital uniform could wash away. The private hospital suite was quiet except for the beep of machines keeping Chaik's mother alive. Cancer. Stage 4. The doctors had given her 3 months. That was 6 weeks ago. Chaik sat by her bedside, holding her frail hand, when the night nurse entered. He'd seen her before, always the same one, always on the night shift. Young, maybe late 20s, beautiful in a way that seemed almost sad. "Mr. Okonkwo," she said softly, "your mother needs her medication." Chaik watched as the nurse, her badge said Zara Mensa. His mother stirred, opened her eyes. "Zara, is that you?" "Mama, I'm here." The nurse's voice was so gentle it made Chike's chest hurt. "You're a good girl," his mother whispered. "Such a good heart rest now, Mama. Save your strength." Chaik's mother smiled weakly and drifted back to sleep. Zara stood there for a moment, just watching her, like she was memorizing every detail. "Care about her," Chaik said quietly. "Really care. The other nurses, they're professional. You're different." Zara's shoulders tensed. "I should check on my other patients." "Wait, I just wanted to say thank you for being kind to her. Everyone deserves kindness, Mr. Okonkwo." She moved toward the door. Especially at the end. Zara stopped, turned, and for just a moment, Chaik saw something in her eyes. Grief. Old grief. The kind that never fully heals. "Yes," she whispered. "Especially at the end." 3 weeks later, Chaik's mother died, peacefully, with Zara holding one hand and Chaik holding the other. At the funeral, Chaik saw Zara standing in the back of the church. She wasn't in her nurse's uniform, just a simple, black dress that had seen better days. When their eyes met, she looked away quickly, guilty, after the service. Chaik found her in the parking lot, getting into an old car that barely looked roadworthy. "Thank you for coming," he said. "Your mother was special." Zara's voice was thick with tears. "You barely knew her for 6 weeks. Sometimes that's all it takes." She opened her car door. "I should go. Can I buy you coffee?" "Just to say thank you properly." "Mr. Okonkwo?" "I don't think Chaik. Please, just Chaik." He gave her what he hoped was a friendly smile. "1 coffee. That's all I'm asking." Zara looked at him for a long moment, wrestling with something, some decision that seemed to cause her physical pain. "You don't want to know me," she said finally. Not because she swallowed hard, because people who get close to me, they get hurt. It was such a strange thing to say, so specific, so weighted with meaning. "I'll take my chances," Chaik said. Wrong answer. The right answer would have been to walk away, to let the mysterious nurse disappear into whatever shadows she'd come from. But Chaik Okonkwo had built an empire by taking chances, by seeing opportunities others missed. He just didn't know that this chance would cost him everything. 1 coffee became 3. 3 became dinner. Dinner became long walks along Bar Beach, where they talked about everything and nothing except. Zara never talked about herself. "Where did you grow up?" Chaik asked one evening, 2 weeks after they'd started seeing each other. "A small town. You wouldn't know it. Try me." "It doesn't matter. I'm not that person anymore." "What person?" She looked out at the ocean, her profile sharp against the setting sun. "Someone who made terrible choices." "We've all made bad choices, Zara. Not like mine." Her voice was barely audible over the waves. Despite the walls she kept building, despite the secrets she refused to share, Chaik found himself falling, hard. She was real in a way no one in his world was real. She didn't care about his money, actually seemed uncomfortable when he spent. She didn't want to be seen at fancy restaurants or exclusive clubs. She just wanted him, the person, not the billionaire. One night, 3 months in, Chaik took her to his penthouse for the first time. She stood at the window, looking out at Lagos spread below them like a carpet of lights. "This view must cost more than most people make in a lifetime," she said quietly. "Probably. Do you ever feel guilty? Having so much when others have so little? Sometimes, do you?" She turned to him, confused. Do I what? Feel guilty about something? You carry guilt like a weight, Zara? I can see it. Her face went pale. I don't know what you flinch when people raise their voices. You apologize for things that aren't your fault. You treat every patient like you're trying to save someone you couldn't save before. He moved closer. Who did you lose, Zara? For a moment he thought she might tell him. I'd finally let him in. But instead, she kissed him. Desperate. She was trying to drown her secrets in passion. And God help him, he let her. Czech's uncle Amika noticed the change in his nephew immediately. You're distracted, he said during a board meeting. Your mind is somewhere else. I'm fine, uncle. Is it a woman? Czech hesitated. Yes. Good. Finally. Is it the Adayami girl? Or perhaps the Okonjo daughter? Both are from excellent families, it's neither. Her name is Zara. She's a nurse. The temperature in the room dropped 10 degrees. A nurse, Emika repeated flatly. Yes. From what family? I don't know yet. You don't know? Emika's voice rose. Chike, you're a billionaire. You're the CEO of this company. You can't just date random women without proper background checks. She's not random. She's nobody. Emika slammed his hand on the conference table. No family, no connections, no breeding. This is unacceptable, I love her. Then Emika laughed, cruel and mocking. Love, you barely know this woman. For all you know, she's a gold digger who saw an opportunity she's not. Then prove it. Bring her here. Let me investigate. Her background. Let me make sure she's not hiding something. Chike stood up. No, I trust her. Then you're a fool. Maybe he was, but he didn't care. That night, Chike told Zara about the conversation with his uncle. He wants to investigate you. Background checks. The whole thing. Zara went white. No. I told him no. I told him I'd trust you. You shouldn't. She stood up abruptly. Chike, you need to listen to me. Your uncle is right. You don't know me. You don't know where I came from or what I've done? Then tell me. Can't? Why not? Because if I do, you'll leave. Tears were streaming down her face now. And I can't lose someone else. I can't survive that again. Someone else? Chike grabbed her hands. Zara, who did you lose? She pulled away. I need to go, Zara, please. Just let me go. She ran out of his apartment, and Chike stood there, heart pounding, knowing something was terribly, terribly wrong. The next day, she didn't answer his calls. Or the day after that. On the third day, Chike went to the hospital, asked for Zara. The head nurse looked confused. Zara requested a transfer. She's working at a different facility now. Where? I'm not authorized to give out that information. She was running. Again. From what? From whom Chike used every resource he had to find her, and finally he did. At a small clinic on the outskirts of Lagos, he showed up during her shift. We need to talk, Chike. Please no more running, Zara. Whatever you're hiding, whatever you're afraid of, we face it together. She looked at him with those haunted eyes. You don't understand what you're asking. Then help me understand. Not here. Not now. She glanced around the clinic nervously. Come to my apartment tonight, I'll tell you everything. Promise. Promise. But that was a lie. Because when Chike showed up at her apartment that evening, she was gone. Left a note. I'm sorry. I can't do this. Forget about me. You deserve someone better. Someone clean? Someone clean? What did that mean? Zara drove through the night, heading back to the one place she'd sworn she'd never return. Agu, the small town, looked exactly the same. Same dusty roads, same market square, same church where she'd sung in the choir as a girl. Before everything went wrong, she went straight to the cemetery. To the grave she'd never visited because she was too much of a coward. Chinonso, Okafor, beloved son, gone too. So on, Zara fell to her knees, and the memories came flooding back 5 years earlier. Zara, slow down. I'm fine, Chinonso. Stop nagging. Me. You've been drinking 2 glasses. I'm under the limit. The rain was coming down in sheets, windshield wipers struggling to keep up. But Zara was angry. Angry that her fiancé didn't trust her. Angry that he was treating her like a child. Just let me drive, Chinonso begged. Please, baby. I'm not saying you're drunk. Just the rain is bad. I said I'm fine. She turned to glare at him. Just for a second. It's long enough to make her point. That's when she saw it. The truck jackknifed across the road, the driver waving frantically. Trying to warn them, Zara slammed on the brakes. The car hydroplaned, spun, hit the truck at 50 miles per hour. The impact was like the world ending, glass exploding, metal screaming, Chinonso's head snapping forward, hitting the dashboard despite the seatbelt. Then silence. Terrible, terrible silence. Chinonso. Zara's voice was small, scared. Chinonso, wake up. He didn't move. Blood. So much blood. Chinonso shook him, begged him, screamed for help, but his eyes were open but not seeing. The ambulance came. Police. They pulled her from the wreckage. It's gone, someone said. I'm sorry. He's gone. The police ruled it an accident. No charges filed. Just a tragedy. Just bad luck and bad weather. But Chinonso's mother didn't see it that way. At the funeral, Mrs. Okafor had looked at Zara with such hatred, such pure rage, that Zara knew she would never be forgiven, never be seen as anything but the girl who killed her son. The whisper started immediately. She murdered him. She should be in prison. Kill her. Zara tried to stay, tried to face it. But the guilt was crushing her. The stares, the accusations. So she ran, changed her name from Okoli to Mensa, moved to Lagos, started over, became someone new. Someone who could live with the guilt by pretending it belonged to someone else. You should have stayed dead. Zara looked up through tears. Mrs. Okafor stood over her, older and grayer, but with the same broken eyes. Mrs. Okafor, you dare come back here? The woman's voice shook with rage. You dare stand at my son's grave? I needed to tell him. Tell him what? That you're happy now? That you've moved on? That you found some rich man to make you forget you're a murderer? I'm not happy. I've never been happy. I think about Chinonso every single day. I see his face every time I close my eyes. I hear him begging me to slow down. Good. Mrs. Okafor screamed. You should suffer. Should wake up every morning remembering what you did. You took my son from me. Zara was sobbing now. I know, and I'm sorry. So sorry. Sorry doesn't bring him back. Sorry doesn't fill the hole in my life. Sorry is nothing. Then what do you want from me? Zara cried. Me. Tell me what I can do to make this right. You can't. Mrs. Okafor's voice went cold, flat. There is nothing you can do. My son is dead, and you're alive, and that will never be right. She turned to leave, then stopped. I'll tell you this. If you have any decency left, you'll tell that man the truth. You'll tell him you're a killer who changed her name and ran away, like a coward. And you'll let him decide if he wants to build a life with someone who has blood on her hands. Then she walked away, leaving Zara kneeling in the dirt, destroyed. Zara stayed at that grave for hours, crying, praying, begging Chinonso for forgiveness she knew would never come. I didn't mean to, she whispered. I didn't mean to kill you. I loved you. I loved you. And I destroyed everything because I was too proud to admit I'd had too much to drink, too stupid to let you drive. The wind picked up, rustling the trees. I became a nurse because of you, because I couldn't save you, so I wanted to save everyone else. Every patient I care for, I pretend it's you. I pretend I'm getting a second chance. She pressed her forehead against the cold headstone. Doesn't work, does it? Because you're still dead. I'm still the person who killed you, and no amount of good deeds will ever change that. He forgave you, you know? Zara spun around. Mrs. Okafor had come back. She was holding something. A letter yellowed with age. What? Chinonso. He forgave you, before he died. The older woman's voice was quieter now, tired. He was conscious. For a few minutes in the ambulance, paramedic told me later, he kept saying, tell Zara it's not her fault. Tell her I love her. Tell her to be happy. Zara couldn't breathe. But I didn't tell you, Mrs. Okafor continued. Because I was angry. Because I needed someone to blame. Because my son was gone, and you were still here. She handed Zara the letter. He wrote this to you a week before the accident. Was going to give it to you on your wedding day. Kept it. Hid it, because I wanted you to suffer the way I was suffering. With shaking hands, Zara opened the letter. My dearest Zara, by the time you read this, we'll be married. You'll be my wife. I'll be the luckiest man alive. I know you worry sometimes that you're not good enough for me, that you make too many mistakes. But listen to me carefully. I love you because of your imperfections, not despite them. You're human. You're real. You're perfectly imperfect. Whatever happens in our life together, whatever mistakes we make, whatever challenges we face, I want you to know this. I will always forgive you. I will always choose you. I will always love you. Even when you mess up. Even when you're stubborn and won't listen. Even when you make me crazy. Especially then. Forever yours. Chinan's Zara collapsed, sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. Mrs. Okafor knelt beside her. He would want you to be happy, Zara. I didn't want to admit that, but it's true. My son had a big heart. It's too big. He would want you to forgive yourself, to live, to love again. I don't know how, Zara whispered. Start by telling that man the truth, all of it, and let Chaim decide if you're worth loving. What if he leaves? Then he wasn't the right one. Mrs. Okafor stood up. But if he stays, if he loves you anyway, then honor my son's memory by being happy, by living the life Chinonso wanted you to live. Zara drove back to Lagos with Chinonso's letter pressed against her heart. She called Chaik. I'm back. Can you come over? Are you okay? You sound just. Come, please. I'm ready to tell you everything. 20 minutes later, Chaik stood in her apartment, and Zara told him the truth. Not gently. Not with careful explanations. Raw and brutal. My real name is Zara Okoli. 5 years ago, I killed a man named Chinonso Okafor. Chaik went still. We're engaged. I'd been drinking, not drunk, but impaired. He wanted to drive. I refused. We argued. I took my eyes off the road. There was a truck. I hit it. He died. She watched Chaik's face. Watched him process. Watched the man she loved realize she was a killer. I ran away. Changed my name. Built a new life on lies. Everything about me, everything is fake. Zara Mensa doesn't exist. She's a ghost. A fiction. Someone I created so I could live with what I did. I'm sorry I lied to you, Zara whispered. I'm sorry I let you fall in love with someone who isn't real. But I'm telling you now because you deserve the truth. You deserve to know who you're really with. Chaik finally spoke. You killed someone, yes. And you've been lying to me for 6 months? Yes. Is there anything else? Any other secrets? No, that's all of it. Chaik walked to the window, stared out at the city. His shoulders were tense, rigid. I need time, he said finally. I understand. Zara, he turned to look at her. Thank you for finally trusting me with the truth. Then he left, and Zara sat alone in her apartment, knowing she'd just destroyed the only good thing in her life since Chinonso died. 1 day passed, then 2, then 3. Chaik didn't call, didn't text, nothing. Zara went to work, took care of patients. On the 4th day, his uncle Emeka showed up at her clinic. Stay away from my nephew, he said without preamble. I already am, Zara replied quietly. Good. He doesn't need a woman with your history. You did a background check. Of course I did. The moment he mentioned you. It took me a while to connect Zara Mensa to Zara Okoli, but I got there eventually. Emeka's smile was cruel. Did you really think you could hide from your past forever? No. I always knew it would catch up to me. Then do the right thing. Disappear. Let him move on. He deserves better than a killer, I know he does. Then why are you still here? Because he asked me to wait while he thinks. And I owe him that. Machimika studied her. You really love him? Then prove it. Leave. Before this scandal destroys what's left of his reputation. After Emeka left, Zara sat in the break room, staring at her phone. Maybe he was right. Maybe the kindest thing she could do was disappear. Again, but before she could make that decision, her phone rang. Psychered, her hands shook as she answered. Hello? Can you meet me? At Bar Beach? Where we used to walk? When now? Zara found Chaik standing at the water's edge, hands in his pockets, staring at the waves. I've been thinking, he said without turning around. About what you told me. About Chinonso. About the accident. About everything, Chaik. Let me finish. Finally turned to face her. He looked exhausted, like he hadn't slept in days. What you did was wrong. Driving after drinking was wrong. Running away was wrong. Lying about your identity was wrong. I know. But, he continued, you were 23 years old. You made a split-second decision that cost someone their life. And you've been punishing yourself for it every single day since. Tears streamed down Zara's face. I talked to my mother's old Priest, Chick said. Asked him about forgiveness, about redemption, about whether someone who's taken a life, even accidentally, deserves a second chance. He paused. You know what he said? Zara shook her head, said that God offers redemption to everyone, even murderers, even thieves, even liars, because we're all broken. We've all done things we regret. If God can forgive, who are we to withhold it, Chike? You don't have to. I'm not finished. He stepped closer. I also thought about my mother. How you cared for her. How gentle you were. How you treated her like she was your mother, not just another patient, she reminded. Me of what I'd lost, Zara whispered. Exactly. You became a nurse because you couldn't save Chinonso, so you're trying to save everyone else. It's not running from your guilt, Zara. That's facing it. It's trying to make amends, the only way you know how. He pulled something from his pocket. The ring. The same ring she'd said no to before. I gave up my company, my billions, my family's legacy. You know why? For me, Zara said. No, for me. Because that life was killing me, making me into someone I didn't recognize. Someone focused on money and power instead of what actually matters. He held up the ring. You didn't make me give it up. You just helped me see that there was more to life. Chike, marry me, Zara Okoli. Not because you've earned it, not because you're perfect, but because you're human, because you made a terrible mistake, and you're trying every day to be better, because I love you. The real you, flaws and all. Zara was sobbing now. Your family will never accept this. Your uncle already came to see me, told me to leave. My uncle can go to hell. The whole world will know what I did, then let them know. I don't care what they think. I have blood on my hands, Chike. So do I. His voice was quiet but firm. Maybe not literally. But I've made business decisions that ruin people's lives. I've fired employees who had families to feed. I've prioritized profit over people. We all have blood on our hands in one way or another. He knelt down in the sand. Zara Okoli, will you marry me? She looked at this man. This good man who knew her darkest secret and was still here, still choosing her. Yes, she whispered. Yes, I'll marry you. The world wasn't done with him yet. 2 weeks before the wedding, a journalist from Agwu recognized Zara in Lagos, wrote an article, Billionaire. Heir to Mary Killer, the dark secret of Zara Okoli. The article went viral. Social media exploded with outrage. Death threats flooded Zara's phone. Protesters gathered outside Chike's apartment building. His family was furious. End this, Uncle Emeka demanded. Now, before you destroy the Okonkwo. Name completely? No, she's a murderer, Chike. She made a mistake. There's a difference. Not to the public. Not to our business partners. Not to then they can all go to hell. Chike's voice was steel. I'm marrying her. Anyone who has. A problem with that isn't invited. He released a public statement that made headlines. Zara Okoli made a tragic mistake 5 years ago. She has spent every day since trying to atone through service and compassion. She is not perfect. Neither am I. But she is honest now. She is real, and I love her. Our wedding will proceed as planned. Those who cannot accept this are free to stay away. Backlash was severe. Half his family refused to attend. Business contacts distanced themselves, but Chike didn't care. He'd already given up billions. What was a little more loss? The wedding day came. Small ceremony. Just 20 people in a garden overlooking Lagos. Zara wore a simple white dress. No veil. She was done hiding. As she walked down the aisle, she saw friendly faces. Chike's college roommate, a cousin who'd always been kind, a few nurses from the hospital who'd worked with her, and then at the very back, standing alone, Mrs. Okafor. Zara's steps faltered. Chike squeezed her hand, giving her strength. After the ceremony, after they were pronounced husband and wife, Mrs. Okafor approached. I didn't think you'd come, Zara said quietly. The older woman pulled out a photograph. This was Chinonso's favorite picture of you too. I've kept it for 5 years. But I think he'd want you to have it now. Zara took it with trembling hands. Her and Chinonso at the beach, laughing, young, in love. I haven't forgiven you. Mrs. Okafor said, I don't know if I ever will. I've realized something. My son loved you, and he would have wanted you to be happy. So be happy, Zara. Live a life that would make him proud. That's the only way to truly honor his memory. She turned to leave, then paused. And take care of that man you just married. He's a good one. Chinonso would have liked him. Then she was gone. Shakay pulled Zara close. You okay? Yeah, Zara whispered, clutching Chinonso's photo. I think I'm going to be okay. 5 years later, Chaik and Zara ran the Chinonso Okafor Foundation, helping accident victims, supporting families affected by drunk driving, and providing second chances to people struggling with guilt and trauma. They had a daughter, named her Chimamanda. God will never fail. Some days the guilt still came. Some nights Zara still woke up screaming, seeing the crash. But Chaik was always there. More than your worst moment, he'd whisper. You're more. And slowly, painfully, she learned to believe him. Friends, here's the truth. We are all more than our worst moments. But we have to choose to be. We have to face our truth, accept the consequences, and believe that redemption is possible, not because we've earned it, but because love real, unconditional love says we're worth it. Chaik didn't save Zara. She saved herself by finally telling the truth. And he loved her anyway. That's the lesson. If this story moved you, smash that like button. Subscribe. For more powerful tales, share with someone who needs to hear that their past doesn't define their future. Comment. Would you have stayed or left? Tell us honestly. Where are you watching from? Drop your location. Until next time, choose truth over comfort, choose love over judgment, and believe in second chances.